As we continue on our journey through the Splinter Cell series to find out what I feel is the absolute bare minimum required, we come to Pandora Tomorrow. Jungle sneaking, SWAT turns, a laser sight, new knockouts, upgraded animations, Pandora Tomorrow is a step up in almost every way from the original Splinter Cell. But sandwiched between what is considered the pinnacle of the series in Chaos Theory and the genre-redefining first entry, Pandora Tomorrow sits in an awkward place. Plagued by several game-breaking issues on modern hardware and complete unavailability on every popular digital game store, Pandora Tomorrow is unfortunately the hardest game of the series to get into. Fortunately, there are lighting fixes which address most of the major issues. I'll have links to these in the description below. Also, there are HD texture packs that can be found online, but if you think this interface is better than this one, then I'm not inviting you to EdCon when we have it in 2035. Yeah, enjoy hanging out with your real IRL friends instead of strangers from the internet, you nerd. And now that we are 1 minute into this video and have not gone over anything useful at all, let's get into the rules. Now, if you've watched my previous Splinter Cell video, most of this will look very familiar. First off, we're going to run over what isn't allowed. Number 1, no gadgets. Now this includes ring airfoil rounds, sticky shockers, sticky cams, disposable picks, and medkits, as well as the new additions of flashbangs, chaff grenades, and the camera jammer. Number 2, no shooting. Number 3, no alarms. Number 4, no throwables. That's bottles, cans, flares. Don't go full Advent Rising here.
Rocks? They throw rocks?
Asteroids.
Number 5, no using turrets to kill enemies. I don't even know if that's a thing in this level, but I just copy and pasted this from the last video, so maybe it's a thing, I'm not really sure. Number 6, no interacting with guards, no knockouts, and no kills. Hey Jeff! Yeah, Paul? That sure is a lot of goddamn stuff we ain't supposed to be doing. I know, right? But them's is the rules, and that's what we got to do. Well, golly, Jeff, what can we do then? Oh, you adorable southern folk. I'll break the fourth wall here and tell you. Number 1, movement-based sound. Jumping, running, karate, whatever you need to do. Number 2, light switches, engine switches. That's not how you say engine. Engine switches. Number 3, force guard interactions, of course, will count towards the total. Number 4, we know all the keypad codes. I think I only actually used this like once. And number 5, whistling. Are you Akiko Shibata? Because you're about to be. And finally, due to the overwhelmingly negative response from a certain individual who will not be named because that individual does not seem to understand there is no difference between normal and hard for the OG Splinter Cell, we're going to be playing this on hard difficulty this time. Can we get a thumbs up for hard mode and a thumbs down for difficulty inconsistency? Also, as a side note, like my Splinter Cell video, we're only going to be highlighting the interesting and most difficult parts of these missions. Linked below in the description will be the raw Twitch footage, so you can see how I overcame some of the challenges during this run. I'll warn you now though, the tedium factor will cause your blood pressure to rise significantly. Mission 1. Infiltrate the US Embassy. When you think of Splinter Cell being hard, what comes to mind? The guards, staying quiet, the awkward shooting if you don't use the laser sight? Well, all of those are wrong. The broken lighting is the raid boss of this level. But didn't he use the lighting fix, I hear you ask under your breath? Yes, yes I did. Well, at least I thought I did. Turns out, I didn't, believe it or not. So yeah, I played through the entire first level and about half of the cryolab before realizing the fix I was using needed to be completely reinstalled. Big shout out to my chat for calling me out on my dumbassery sooner rather than later. Our first forced interaction is Douglas Shetland's interrogator. With the door lock being jammed and no way to talk to Shetland with the guard still conscious, we're forced to knock him out.
Douglas, it's been a while.
Fisher? My God, man, you're getting old.
Down the stairs, we make our way by the guards burning couches like they live in Morganton, West Virginia, and we're out into the courtyard.
Hello? Is somebody there?
Remember how I said my lighting fix wasn't working? Well, for some reason, it decided to work just enough so that the spotlights here are fixed, but not enough for the lighting in the rest of the level to make any sense. After talking to Ingrid,
I'm a word cruncher.
we hop out the window and move on to our next objective of shutting off the spotlights preventing us from escaping. Hitting the switches while evading the guards can be a little annoying. Sam acts like his muscles have completely atrophied, and Sedano must be footing the bill for the LASIK for these guards because they can literally see for miles. Lucky for us, we can sit about halfway up both of these ladders and wait for the openings. Pro tip though, the guards will hear you turning off the spotlight. Make sure they're a decent distance away before you try anything. And after flipping the second lever, we make our way to our escape boat and finish the first level fairly easily. Capping off this first level brings our guard total up to 1. We used 0 bullets, 0 gadgets, saved 16 times, and only had to reload 15. Off to quite the start. Mission 2 brings us to the baguette capital of the world. Here, we're tasked with infiltrating the coolest location in the game. After the first couple guards have passed, we come to our first obstacle. You know, for being an elite Special Forces agent with the most cutting-edge technology at his disposal, no one seemed to think he would be better off with a flame-retardant suit or, maybe even a small glass of water to extinguish himself if he were to spontaneously combust. Unfortunately, touching this fire results in an insta-death. Shooting the water pipe here adds our first bullet to the counter.
Shooting the pipes. With a little luck, you'll hit coolant, or at least water.
Sounds like a raw deal for the frozen bodies at the end of the line. Bodies at the end of the line. Bodies at the end of the line.
Over the river and through the woods, we come to Grandma's house. And god damn it, Graham. How many times do I have to tell you? We don't let armed mercenaries into the house. Do you not remember what happened last time? I mean, do we need to talk about your time as an oil rig technician? Christmas 1988? When you ran for president? The secret Cuban stronghold? When you defected during the Cold War? Myanmar? Oh, God! It takes Sam about 20 seconds to hack the computer, so we need to get these guys completely out of the room. And this is what I did. Swing the front doors open, step into the hallway, and immediately stand up. The close guard will notice you and alert his companion. Open the second door and stand against the frame so it won't close. Now the doors in Splinter Cell will close on their own given enough time, so we need to keep it open as long as possible. The two guards should come running into the hallway to investigate, and with enough luck, both of them will walk right past you. Hop into the hallway and head to the computer room. The door should close behind you, trapping both of the guards in the previous room. Now fortunately for us, neither of them has the hand strength to open the door. Take note though, I had some issues where the guards could see me through the wall, so turning off the lights seemed to help a bit, but it felt pretty random overall.
It's a separate network. Oh my god.
What? What?
Climbing into the vent, we head over here and talk to Francois. Francois, sadly, succumbs to the collateral damage of this challenge.
I'm from the phone company. There's been a recall.
What?
What? What?
What?
Normally, I'd shoot these explosive barrels or gas the guards to knock them out before making my escape. But this time, Francois's fate is bound by my code of not being wasteful. At the time of this writing, 5.56 ammunition is 66 cents per round, and we need to be as fiscally responsible as possible. Sorry, Francois. F's in the chat. The explosion from the barrels takes out that pesky valve at the end of the vents, and we're free to make our escape. Now that we're done being a cool cat, let's do a quick tally before Mission 3. We ended up avoiding all the guards, and we only shot one bullet at that water pipe. Used no gadgets, saved 17 times, but we racked up about 74 quick loads. Oh, it's only going to get worse, isn't it? The climactic finale of Mission Impossible brings us to the storage car of a train coasting along the Hesperia railways. The baggage man here requires a bit of patience and timing to avoid, but is overall not too big of a deal. Wait for him to drink his coffee and you should have plenty of time to get into the hatch and under the train. The rest of this level plays out pretty standardly. You're forced into dodging almost every guard on this level anyways, so there really isn't anything particularly noteworthy. After recording Sauce's conversation, we can lure the final guard here with a whistle. We follow him to his original spot and just avoid being detected. In the last room here, we have to climb the ladder and get out as quickly as possible before a couple guards come in and catch us.
Talk to me about level of force. It's them or you.
Overall, a short and sweet level that shouldn't give you much trouble. 99% of it is how you should be playing the level anyways. As expected, we get zeros on the guards, bullets, and gadgets. Easy. Jerusalem is up next, and our first objective is retrieving our trusty SC-20K. This goes about as well as you would expect until we get into the cellar. Here we find Saul being held up by two ruffians. And not only are these delinquents up to no good, but they're basically human merry-go-rounds, perpetually spinning in place with no way to escape their circular fate. And I tried whistling to lure them away.
Intruder, he looks serious.
We have no choice. We need to have them dead.
Throwing bottles at them.
We'll take your life too if we have
We're
to.
under attack.
We have no choice. We need to have them dead. No
Hell,
choice.
I even
We need
managed to
have
pull
them
the
dead.
patrolling police officer down here just to see if he would arrest them for me.
We'll let you go.
In order to trigger Saul opening and giving you the
We have
gun,
no
they
choice.
both have
We
to be
need to have
knocked
them
out.
dead.
So this unfortunately adds 2 to our guard counter, and I am disappointed.
You're Saul Berkovitz.
The central chunk of this level is uninteresting. It's a lot of whistling and patience, and everyone's pretty easy to avoid. Now, savor these quiet, precious moments while you can, because everything is about to become a dumpster fire.
Who do the Syrians think you are?
We catch up to Dahlia Tall and hop in the elevator. Lambert tells us to shoot her, but I guess I'll be forever the sickest kid because she's a lady and ladies shouldn't be messed with. But god damn do I wish I had shot her. Now, at the base of the elevator shaft is a man. This man is a bad man. This bad man has a bad friend who doesn't like when the bad man shoots his bad gun. So, we need to use our good gun to stop the bad man from shooting his bad gun and alerting his bad friend. Watching this replay back, it all seems so simple. Now here's how I managed to get by him. As a heads up though, a lot of this is in the timing of your movements and when he and his friend hear you. So, start by crouching in the front right corner of the elevator. Look down towards the gate, and just as you see the new texture for the archway, run to the back left corner of the elevator. From here, pull out your gun with a ring airfoil at the ready. You should be able to tap move forward a few times without alerting the hallway guard. Now, aim for the ankles and shoot just as the gate passes your reticle. You need to move fast enough to get by him before he wakes up, but not so fast that the patrolling guard will hear you. Take an immediate right and you'll be able to hide by this railing. Now, once the patrol is out of the way, move down the walkway to this corner to hide.
I hear something. Who is that?
Grabbing the sample from the next area and getting out of the basement isn't too bad either. Just use your whistles and time your movements with openings in the guard patrols and you'll be out in no time. At the top of the elevator, we come face to face with our terrible decision making. Because we didn't shoot Dahlia Tall, she's brought a team of snipers with her to guard this area. If you do shoot her, this area will be full of police who are much easier to deal with. But doing that wastes about 66 cents, and really, what's more important? The 45 minutes of my life I won't get back that will inevitably haunt me 50 years from now when I'm on my deathbed wondering why I poured so much time and effort into a 16-year-old game for those sweet, sweet YouTube views that are ultimately nothing more than a gauge of my own self-worth? Or a virtual bullet? So I spent 45 minutes here bunny hopping like I'm too much for Z-Block. And you're goddamn right I'm too much for Z-Block. Check out this voicemail a buddy of mine left me when he saw me get through this area.
This kid's bunny hopping all the way through Ivy, out middle, and through our connector. From Ivy, out middle, through our connector, like a speed demon.
Finishing up mission 4, I'm only adding 2.5 to the guard counter. Technically, we didn't knock out one of those guards, and, well, I'm really just trying to make these numbers seem as low as possible, so it seems like I'm doing better. If the shit show of Jerusalem was any indicator as to how the rest of this run is about to go, then prepare for the misery of Kundan camp. The first portion of this mission is standard fare, but this tower and camp is where it all goes south. Or should I say, Southeast Asian and Oceanic. Now, I'm sure we're all familiar with the normal strategy of knocking everyone out and then ziplining into the next camp. The more advanced strategy takes advantage of a bottle here, but we're going full AA mode on this playthrough. If you're interested in that strat, which is honestly way easier, you should go check out this video by CenterStrain01. The link's in the description. That's a cool strat and all, but we like to make things way more complicated than that, and I'm not very good at doing Roy impressions anyway. Because the guard under the tower will see us no matter what we do, we need to lure him away. If we whistle on the far side of the tent, we can attract the patrol without waking up his friend. We whistle spam as we run back toward this piece of sheet metal. We hide behind it until we're sure the patrol is as far forward as he will be before we run out and get back to the tower. You have to be ridiculously careful when approaching this tower though, as the guard up here will hear your footsteps as you exit the tent. Climb the tower and get into the back right corner. If your timing lines up and you're lucky enough, he'll turn to his left and take a step. This is your opportunity to half stun him with an airfoil round and hit the zip line to escape. This requires a ton of luck. If the patrol you lured away comes back too soon, he will see you even from behind the tent. It's the worst. After ziplining and landing in the second camp, we tail Sedano until he gets to this clearing. We're forced to use a sticky cam to spy on his conversation in order to get a keypad code for later in the mission.
Bullets can't find me.
With the code recorded, we can move deeper into the compound. We find ourselves in the basement of
Lavandería Brillante.
with an elevator guarded by 2 of his henchmen. I'm not a licensed electrician, but that doesn't stop me from playing with switches and large industrial equipment. The noise attracts the guards, giving us just enough time to sneak over to the keypad, enter the code, and climb up the ladder. If you're curious where this keypad code comes from, we can turn to IGN for all the information we need. Out of the basement, and we find ourselves at Sedano's villa. And boy, what a villa it is.
I'm a British man, and this is Lifestyles of the Rich and Infamous. Why an independent guerrilla leader look into this man for outpost construction first? Well, this lavish, 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom, 3,000 square feet, jungle bungalow in the heart of Indonesia comes equipped with electric floors, patrolling guards, security cameras and twin turrets. Everything a guerrilla group could want in a command center. How much will one of these set you back? This eloquent yet humble base of operations can be yours for 5 briefcases full of unmarked $100 bills.
We hack the laptop with the grace and finesse of a man who can type quickly on a keyboard, and we're out the giant window door things. Around the corner and out the back door, we're greeted by angry people with equally angry guns. Shetland provides us with some much needed cover, and we can weasel our way between the flashlights before we head over to the exit to finish up the level. Because we only half stunned the guard in the tower, I'm only adding half a point to the counter. If there's such thing as a half A press, then I'm concluding that there's also a half guard stun. As seems to be the pattern with the beginnings of most of Pandora Tomorrow's missions, not a whole lot happens. We breeze past all the guards and make it into the elevator with no major issues. Now, our first guard interaction of this level comes in the form of this technician. We grab him from behind and force him to raise the dripping wet 17,000 ton, 600-foot full steel diamond hard girth monster from below the depths so that we may gingerly insert ourselves into its porthole. Oh yeah, and we ask him to raise the sub as well.
Don't hurt me!
Call me Sam Fister, because I just punched this guy in the heart.
What?
We make our way onto the catwalk and send off the danger trolley. This opens up a zip line so we can skip all the angry boys in this area.
Inside that submarine, you're going to be outmanned and outgunned.
That's everywhere I go.
Into the sub, we sneak past all the guards until Hatman. Unfortunately, we got ourselves another Chinese Embassy 2 situation here. The guards in the room won't open this door, and neither will Hatman. We're forced to shove his face into the scanner, most likely causing his eyes to make all those little blue and black and purple dot things for a little bit. I mean, it's not the worst thing, but it's pretty annoying. When will Sam's reign of terror end? After we hack the computer, we head out of the sub. This is where things get interesting. We quickly find out that Sam skips leg day almost every day and is unable to just jump from the sub to the escape boat. Also, he's like 50 and can't swim. Now look, we all know the normie strategy. Drop the first dude in the stairs, then shoot these explosive barrels once the next group of guards spawn. Or, you know, just tase and gas everyone from the sub if you're a pansy. But this is the bare minimum, and we ain't got no time for that shit. So let's back those apple-bottom jeans up and take a look around. On this catwalk, you'll see we have an OSHA violation very similar to the CIA level in the last game. Now, why no engineers think it's a good idea to have handrails on both sides of a walkway is completely beyond me. But this gives us an opportunity. Stand up and full sprint along the left side of the catwalk. Right near the end, swing back to the right so you're facing more or less 45 degrees with the catwalk edge. If you don't line up this way, the game will try to keep you up on the catwalk and you'll lose all your momentum. It's almost like you're hitting an invisible wall or something. Now, right as you step off, swing back to the left and aim for the railing below. The closer you stay to your drop point, the higher your chance of survival will be. This rail is literally right on the edge of being too far to drop to. Doing this properly avoids the stairwell guard and stops the next group of guards from spawning entirely. Executing this skip at the end of the level perfectly means we only have to add 2 to our guard counter. Mission 7 brings us to the TV station. We do our best Sly Cooper impression and run along the rooftops, skipping all the guards and civilians in these first 2 areas. And yeah, I did this hardcore parkour section in the weirdest way possible. Just go watch literally anyone else who knows what they're doing and follow what they do. My way is dumb. For this whole outdoor section, I felt like I was on a hidden prank show. Only, instead of Ashton Kutcher trying to punk me and us giggling about it later over shared waffles at IHOP, it was Zeus trying to get armed guards to put enough holes in me so he could use me as a pasta strainer. We lure the guards away from this van using a whistle and hop down into the sewer. The 2 patrolling guards down here aren't the problem. It's the miserably placed camera, the tiny doorway, all the lights, and Sam's need to slosh around in the water so loudly you'd think he was a pack of golden retriever puppies in a kiddie pool. I'm sure you've watched videos of this part and you've heard those soul-crushing words about how this is impossible, or we have to use the camera jammer here. Well, I'm here to tell you they're right. There isn't enough space to run by this camera. There's a small dark spot that you can hide at immediately through the doorway to the right, but the camera always alerted before I could get there. I vowed to myself that I wouldn't stoop to the level of those normies and use the camera jammer, but here we are. So close to freedom, yet so far away. Yo, but then I said fuck that and pulled out my Foon strats. Check it. This camera is hypersensitive to this doorway, but we can trick it. Back up from the doorway a couple feet. Stand up and full sprint towards the doorway. Just before you enter the doorway, jump. This will delay the camera's alert time for just long enough so that you can get into this corner. Since you're running, you'll most likely have interested the guards, so quickly move to the far right corner of this room. Assuming none of the guards come directly into this corner, it's dark enough for you to hide until everything calms down. Then it's just sneaking past the last guard and up the ladder to exit the sewer. Up on the roof of the building, we need to find a way inside, and rappelling down is our only option. Typically, the player is supposed to shoot out this pane of glass, but we are not about that life. And besides, I'm writing this on a Monday, not a gun day. If we get on top of the skylight and drop onto the rappel mount, we can actually trigger the rappel animation, which will phase us right through the glass like we're Samara coming for your soul. Which would be completely appropriate if you were still watching VHS tapes in 2020. After talking to and following Carlson, we come to this catwalk. In this area, there are 2 normal guards and 3 with night vision goggles. It's like a pentagon of hate, only this pentagon can see in the dark and has guns and will shoot you. Also, there's this grinding, crunchy sound playing during this entire part. I guess that's what the developers think rain sounds like. To me, it's more like those shitty rock shiners you can buy at Walmart for like $20 because, well, you think it'll get the kids out of the house for a few hours when, like, reality, it's too hot out because it's summer, so they do it inside on your kitchen counter and all you want to do is not be alive for the next 3 hours while it's spinning like a tilt-a-whirl, killing you from the inside? So let's talk about the bad parts of this area. Now, we all know that if the first 2 guards aren't dealt with, they will shoot Carlson. This is bad, and believe it or not, it will fail the mission. So, let's break them. Let the dialogue play as normal, and just as one of the guards goes to grab Carlson, whistle. This should confuse the AI, which will cause him to let go of her. Both of the guards here will come to investigate the sound, giving you enough time to run over and trigger Carlson's dialogue. Fortunately, you don't have to stand by her to talk to her, so just run away and hide. She'll walk over and open the door with the retinal scanner. Now, because we haven't gotten into the usual gunfight here, no alerts have gone off, which keeps the 3 night vision guards stationary. Let the first 2 guards wander around however long they want. They'll eventually get bored of looking for you, and they'll return to their original places. Now, we get to work on those 2 close night vision guards. We'll deal with the far one later. While doing this strategy, you'll need to keep 2 major things in mind. Number 1. There are people with night vision goggles and no night vision goggles. Now, you can easily pass the people with no night vision goggles, but you can't easily walk past the people with night vision goggles. Because they have night vision, this allows them to have vision at night, due to their night vision goggles. Number 2. The side of the catwalk Carlson was on is almost fully lit, and both the night vision guards and the non-night vision wearing guards can see you from across the opening. With these 2 things in mind, let me show you what I was able to do. Whistle spam at this corner here by the night vision guards and the non-night vision wearing guards. This should be close enough to caution the night vision guards as well as the non-night vision guards. We're trying our best to group both the night vision guards and the non-night vision guards together. Because the whistle has a limited radius, you'll need to stay close enough to the night vision guards and the non-night vision guards to lure them, but far enough so the night vision guards don't see you. On to Carlson's catwalk, we press our back to the wall so as not to be seen by the night vision guards and the non-night vision guards. Crouching or rolling here will most likely result in an alert by either the night vision guards or the non-night vision guards. With your back to the wall, move forward as far as you can. From here, it's a matter of removing yourself from the wall when both the night vision guards and non-night vision guards aren't looking directly at you. We sprint back to Carlson to deal with a third night vision guard. Using this conspiracy theory in the middle of the room, we can caution and confuse the night vision guard with some Dead by Daylight strats before making our exit down the hall.
I need technicians! I need batteries!
Lastly, we need to capture Sedano. Coincidentally, our first and only forced interaction of this level. Grabbing him during his speech may be the easiest way to get through this part, but I grabbed him right before his exit. The two non-night vision wearing guards he's being escorted by will stop at the entrance of this hall, giving you just enough time to get him into a chokehold before you fail the mission.
Don't shoot! We can't take the risk of killing Sedano!
Walk him over and use the retinal scanner near where you initially dropped down. Fortunately, none of the non-night vision wearing guards will shoot at you until you get to the top of this ramp, but you can simply just walk away and exit the level.
They had gift wrapped him, but I couldn't find any duct tape.
It always shocks me how young he looks. Like a little kid compared to his face on television.
Counting up the totals for this level, we surprisingly land under 200 quick saves, our third highest total so far. Our first stateside mission and last mission overall of the campaign brings us to LAX Airport. Here, we're tasked with stopping the last of the smallpox bombs, as well as taking out 10 guards, one of whom is Saw. Since we've been completely ignoring the story up to this point, I'm sure almost all of you have no idea why there are smallpox bombs here or who Soth is. But it's fine. Stories are for book readers and, well, I can't read anyway. Now tell me, how many of you skipped forward to the end of this video since you think you already know what's going to happen? Oh, 10 total guards here? He's going to shoot them all, blah, blah, blah. I don't need to watch this to see what happens. There's no way around this, obviously. Well, hard pass on yo bitch ass.
What's going on?
First up, the parking garage. We've got one required kill here, and there's no way around it. Boy, after talking all that shit, it kind of sucks that I have to do this the normal way, isn't it? Anyways, I did a ton of experimenting, like trying to get his body up onto a car or climbing these traffic cones, but, you know, unfortunately, Sam just throws the bodies off his shoulders and straight down. There's no forward or backward momentum at all, so it really limits what we can do. Without getting this guard's body high enough, we're forced to just shoot him. Bullet number 1.
Great.
Our next challenge is the baggage area. We've got 4 guards here who must be killed in order to leave. The magical jammed lock won't let us out until we play Grim Reaper. Lucky for us, we've got quite a bit of elevation to work with. First thing we're going to do is knock out the 3 guards on the bottom floor. After knocking out the bottom floor guards and piling them up like a ritual sacrifice, we move our focus to the lone guard on the 2nd floor. Take your time grabbing him, as the security patrol in this area has a really good line of sight on you from up here. With the body up on your shoulders, stand up and walk over to this edge. Now, I find it best if you can get as far off the edge as possible before taking the last full step and falling. This will cause both you and the body to fall to the ground. And, well, guess what? It takes like 3 of those to kill a single person. So yeah, enjoy doing that 11 more times to kill everyone required in this area. But let me hit you with some pro tips before you try this yourself. The steps to the catwalk are divided into 2 sections, and the landing halfway up is dark enough to hide on. If you can get here, you can wait out the patrols until an opening comes. Also, the civilian on the bottom floor here can be lured away with a whistle from this position. This can sometimes cause him to completely walk out of the room, which will give you more than enough time to move a body around. Once you've done your 12 drops and all the guards are dead, we can move to the next part.
Great work, Fisher.
This next required guard is a little tricky, and you need to be relatively fast. As soon as you open the door to the stairwell, rush out and grab him. Try not to make too much noise or you'll trigger the civilian as well. Now with him unconscious, pick up his body and drag him back into the stairwell. Unfortunately, the door to the baggage area has locked itself, so we need to deal with this body here. And I played around in this area for about 30 minutes before figuring out this handy dandy little trick. Lay the guard's body on the first landing similar to this. Go up the stairs and use the elevation to jump onto the railing. Creep over into this corner until you fall down. You should just barely land on whatever tiny piece of metal is sticking out here. From this point, you can glitch the body through the railing and hoist it up onto your shoulders. Now I spin around just to make sure the body won't catch the small piece of metal I'm standing on or glitch back into the stairs. You'll need to do this at least 4 times to kill him. It's just a normal day for Sam Fisher. Moving across those super cool horizontal escalators that I wish I had all over my house, we come to the Devil's Sphincter. And as much as I hate to admit it, this broke me.
This broke me.
The camera right here.
That broke me. I'm done.
Almost 3 hours and more than 500 quick loads later, I couldn't do it. I tried every hyper-pixel perfect strategy I could think of. Someone out there needs to get in contact with whoever speedruns this game, because I'm sure that if they put in the hours, it would be passable. I guess this is what I get for talking all that shit about the camera jammer when I was playing. In the office space up next is the 7th required kill. Much like the first guard, there's nothing we can do here. I tried glitching him onto the furniture, the escalator rails, the trash cans, you name it. With no way to get up onto anything higher than the ground floor, we're forced to shoot him.
Of course, ma'am. Albuquerque.
After the elevator stops...
The elevator stopped. Thanks, Lambert.
We grate ourselves like some Parmesan in an Olive Garden. One firm grip over another and we've successfully conquered this shaft in record time. When you're ejected out of the shaft, aim for the railing. If you land on it, you can walk this way to the end and skip all the hardcore parkour super easy like. Given the ridiculously short time limit and all these railings being properly installed, we have to shoot the last 3 guards. As painful as that is for me to say.
Phenomenal work, Fisher.
But with the last 3 guards taken out, we run over to the bomb and complete the mission.
Damn.
Because of the 10 required guards for this mission, we add all of them to the counter. We were able to save 5 bullets thanks to poor regulations and a mismanaged maintenance staff. Use of the camera jammer ticks the gadget counter up by 1, and we round off the last mission with just over 600 quick loads, a new personal single level high. With the final mission complete, let's take a look at our total run stats. For guards, we end up with 17, 10 of which were on the last level alone. We shoot a casual 6 bullets, 5 on the last level, I'm seeing a pattern here. We used only 4 gadgets across the entire game. And we got through using 255 quick saves and a soul-crushing 1,545 quick loads. If you're interested in trying this run or just watching me suffer live on camera, I'll have links in the description to the raw Twitch footage of my attempts. Thank you all so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, remember to give it a big ol' Yahoo and whatever the equivalent of that is on MSN.
They've got you on camera.